everybody. Welcome to It's Okay to Be Okay. I'm Crystal Hood, along with
Jennifer
Jen
Buck.
Melissa. Yep.
And me, Melissa.
And today we're going to talk about whatever comes up. Like, we really don't even know. So we're just going to see where our conversation goes and let our wisdom guide us and just get quiet and see what comes from the beautiful feeling. Wow, once.
Well, why don't I was talking about just before we went to record, I was about to say something, so I thought maybe we'll leave it for the podcast. Um, I've been having quite a lot of insights lately, and they're quite deep in the sense that I don't fully know how to explain it in the words, because when I try to explain it in words, they come out contradictory or paradoxically. And so I'm going to do my best to try and explain the insight I had the other day. And I was in the bath because, I live in the bath. Everything happens in the bath for me. But I can't remember what it was. It was about when we want something, we are paradoxically saying that we don't already have it. Because the actual wanting is lack of. So it's like, if I want to be a good person, then that's actually telling me that, okay, there's a part of me that doesn't believe that I am that. Because if I was that, I wouldn't want it.
Mm-hmm.
And that kind of come up to me because the other day I saw this homeless man and, he looked at my dog and like smiled, and I was like, do you know what? I'm going to go over to him and let him stroke it and speak to him. And it kind of come to me in the bath. I was like, if I want to be a good person, that means I believe that I'm not a good person, because then I wouldn't want it. So then what was that about? And it's about performance. Like, sometimes when we want something, we pretend to be that thing that we want. And then that means that's where that conflict's coming from, because it feels like we're not that, because we're pretending and we're not just being. And I was like, oh, okay. So and there's a part of me that's like wanting people to see me be good. So it's performance. And sometimes we forget that we're actually performing rather than just fucking being. Because there's a part of me that thinks if I stop forming what I think being a good person is, that means I'm not a good person. And that sucks. That's uncomfortable to face. That's uncomfortable to look in the mirror and say, I'm not a good person. But really, if we just let go of all that fucking bullshit and just be, the love that we are comes through naturally. And people feel that. And when you're in that, when you're not thinking, when you're not trying. When you're trying to be a good person, you're instinctively telling yourself, I'm not a good person, so I'm going to pretend I am. And people feel the difference. So yeah, that was kind of my insight the other day. And I still can't, there's still like, I've touched the top of the iceberg, and there's still so much underneath that my mind is trying to articulate. It's like, it's weird because I understand in my being, but my logical mind is trying to explain it. Go on, Jen.
And stop it. Stop.
Yeah.
Because you're getting further away from it. Sit in the feeling.
Yeah.
Allow it to be. But we have all this thinking about who we are, who we want to be, who we should be, and we don't realize that those are stories we're telling ourselves. And yes, like you were saying, when we're saying we want to be, or then we're essentially telling ourselves that we're not already.
Yeah.
And then those create these conflicts. And then we have these bad thoughts, these judgment thoughts, these who I don't want to be. And we automatically assume because those thoughts are in our head, that's who we are.
Mm.
So then we create the story of who we want to be, and it's this battle. When those thoughts that we don't want to be, they're just passing. all those stories about who we want to be, if we just stop performing, stop thinking about what we look like, stop thinking about what people think about us, stop deciding how others feel about us and what they're thinking about us. Because I used to think ahead of what they were thinking and have my rebuttal and my reasons for anything they could come up with because I've already decided what they were going to say.
Yeah.
It's all this thinking topped on top of each other that doesn't look like thinking. And when we're in it, it looks like truth. Oh, you're good. And, that kind of goes into the insights I've been having at the last couple of days. And that's just noticing, noticing the quiet little subtle stories that I tell myself. Cause like I've hit this new level of a quiet mind. It's not completely quiet at all, but it's the quietest I've ever had. And in that, I'm noticing the little stories, the quiet stories that I tell myself that keep me stuck, keep me scared, keep me worried. And I've just been laughing the last couple of days, like, because I've been catching it. I noticed the quiet mind, and then I caught myself saying, "Ooh, do you have a good feeling right now? But is that really a good feeling, or did you just make that up?" And trying to get myself to back out of it. And I could see how I used to always get caught up with that. And then it would be like this quiet inner commentary going on in the background with everything I did. And I've just gotten to watch that, and it's silly. It's silly because it's like bad TV show actors trying to come up with what to do next and throwing stuff out there to make a problem, to make it entertaining, and it's funny.
Yeah, I love that. Making it entertaining.
Yeah, the whole impromptu, if there's nothing, going on in there to support whatever thought we're having about ourselves, well, it's like watching the worst improv ever. You're right. And it's, someone throws out this line, someone throws out that line. They make no sense together. So, but we tell ourselves those stories, and I love, guys, uh, big insight. Melissa can't explain it. Oh, I trust me. I know how hard it can be to articulate that and to put that into words. I mean, it's taken me almost 4 years to start putting words to it. So there's that. And Jen, I love the new level of quiet. It's beautiful because you're right. Like when we reach different levels of quiet in the one you're in right now, it is you catch those little suckers before they can even really start gaining momentum and throwing out all their bad lines. And you're like, whoa, what's this story I'm telling myself now? And it's beautiful. I mean, that's kind of how I am. The thought comes in and I'm like, oh, weird, or oh, strange. You just laugh at it because you realize we're so aware that it's just a thought and it means nothing about who we are. And you get to a point where you're just like, well, that was weird. Whatever.
It's like when you watch a movie and it's, say, for instance, like it's a scary movie. Say, for instance, it was in the 80s, you watched it and you were scared of it. And then you watch it now and you look back and you're like, oh my God, how did that ever scare me? The special effects, the acting is so terrible. How did that ever affect me?
That's a
And
beautiful example. That is a beautiful, beautiful example of that. I love that. It's so true
well,
because I've done that. Sorry, Jen. I've done that. I've watched those movies that, oh gosh, as a kid or whatever, I was so terrified.
mhm.
And then I watch it now. I'm like, what the hell is this?
Yeah.
This is a comedy because I could swear when I watched it when I was younger, it was a really scary movie, but now I can't help but laugh.
Like Godzilla. Like you watch Godzilla back then, you're like, oh my God, you could tell it's so fake. Our thinking is the same thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And as we see it, as we really start to see it, because it shows up in so many different ways that we don't recognize as thought at first. Like I said, the more thinking I have about myself, the faster my thinking seems to go. Because when I'm thinking about myself, am I doing it right? Am I saying the right things? What do they think of me? Am I coming across right? Do I look professional? That's when I start going really fast. And that's when those little stories of, why are you even here? Do you even know what you're talking about?
Yep.
Do those sneak in when my thinking gets going fast. And then those bring that dread, that anxiety that feels so real. But as I start to stop worrying about how others are thinking about me, because their reality of me is way different than my reality of me. It but when I let go of all the thinking about myself and if I'm doing it right, my mind slows down to a level of quiet where I can see those sneaky little shits coming in like, ooh, do you think I can get in right here?
Yeah.
And it's just such a relief. Such a I wouldn't be having those if I wasn't going in the right direction. If I didn't have that opportunity for success because I am stepping into who I'm supposed to be, I feel I wouldn't have all those little, do you even know what you're doing? Like I attack myself the most when I'm able to move up, when I'm able to succeed. It seems like when life is living through me and I'm moving up that ladder, that's when I try to get myself to stay stuck the most.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Yeah. And it's fighting against all that's innate. It's fighting against our essence. It's fighting against all those things because, yeah, we're moving up, and then here comes the whole, oh my gosh, the imposter syndrome. Like, do I know what I'm talking about? Who's going to listen to me? What am I going to say? All of those things that happens, but it's just, that's that sneaky little crap trying to just see, are you going to bite? Like, are you going to bite and am I going to reel you in to this storm of thought? Or are you going to just, be and recognize that, yeah, that is, that's our ego. That's our whatever you want to call it, fighting against that new level.
And it really, while Jen was talking, I really got a small insight coming up now about, how like you revving your engine up all the time and eventually it's going to blow. And it's like, when you're talking about all the different thoughts, it's like, bloody hell, that energy that you're using to do that. Every of those things and the energy, and you wonder why people are not present. Because if we've got like 100% presence, right? Just say like 100, and you're thinking all these other things, you've got like 20% over there, 20% over there, 20% over there. You've got like 20% left for now.
Yeah.
Right now. It's like, you need to delete that shit so that you can bring that back to the now. And that is that when you've got like 100% presence now, there's no thinking, there's just being. It's like when you're enjoying something, when you've got, I love puzzles. When I'm doing a puzzle, I'm there, just puzzling. And I'm not thinking about anything else. Yeah, go on, Jen. You can talk.
Well, I was going to say, when we show up just as we are, no matter what's going on, when we just show up and become present in what we're doing, it's an effortless success. You know, when we step into what we're doing and are there, it's an energy comes with that. And things go better, you know, until we get ourselves caught up on the, well, what are they thinking? Did I do that right? But you know what? Show up a mess. Show up not knowing. Show up unsure. And show up scared to death. Because when you show up and you drop out of all of that, who you think you should be and just be you, it's like, that's when we shine.
Yeah. It's the torch. It's like,
yeah, it's like that's when all of that energy that's elsewhere comes in, and it's like we step into our power when we are present. If there was superpowers, like you would gather it all by becoming present and dropping out of all the stories you tell yourself.
yeah, it's like a torch with 100% battery rather than 20%. With 100% battery, you can see so much. And people can see the light more.
Because at that point, that's like what Sid always said. When we become fully present, you know, that's when it's a soul talking to a soul, not an ego talking to an ego. When we stop being who we think we should be, who we think others want us to be, and just show up as we are, fully present will be better than anything we could have imagined. Because that's when our essence comes through. And it doesn't matter what we're doing. It doesn't matter how messy it is. It doesn't matter if it's a personal crisis in the middle of the grocery store. When you can see, I'm doing this, and bring yourself back to the present, then all the things that were moving so fast that were freaking you out, all of a sudden it's not a big thing. It's not, because it was our minds going so fast.
Yeah.
That made everything else seem overwhelming and unable to deal with.
It's like living your life with squinted eyes. Like you're squinting your eyes and you can't really see everything. You're just seeing a little bit. And you're bumping into things because you're not looking. When you slow down, when you open up, it's like your eyes are wide open. It's like, I'm seeing everything. And the level of thought goes up as well. It's like squinty eyes, personal thought. Open eyes, you've got access to divine intelligence. And you've got ideas and creativity and all of that kind of stuff that comes in. And I think I've kind of gone off somewhere else here. But I was trying to bring two things into one analogy, and it's like, no, I've lost it. Just that when we're in our personal mind, when we're in our personal thinking, we're squinting our eyes. We're not seeing the whole picture. We're not seeing everything. When we open our eyes, we can see everything, even in the midst of disaster, even in the midst of chaos. You can see so much more. Yeah. I kind of lost where I was going with that. Fuck it.
It happens.
So yeah, I don't know if I was the one that went off topic or even what our topics were.
Yeah, I can't even
So
remember what we were talking about.
it's not, well, it's not that we really had a
No.
topic. So we're just seeing where this is going. And I mean, it started off with just two beautiful souls talking about their beautiful new insights and levels and seeing things differently and, not letting thinking get in the way, not letting our personal stories getting in the way. And you know what, Melissa, you talked in the beginning about, when we're trying to be something, when we want to be a good person, when we want to be successful, when we want to be all these things, it is a story that we're telling ourselves, well, we're not any of those things. And it's, the insecurities that we're feeding. And then from that thinking that's going on, we're like, well, how am I going to be a good person? How am I going to be successful? And we do these things without even, acting as if pretty much, without even thinking about it. And that's why when we act like we're a good person, or we act like we're successful, or we act like this or that, or we act like we're present, or any of those things, it doesn't last. There's no good feeling. You once you're done acting, let's say, and you're back to where you were, and you're like, you don't feel that beautiful essence inside. You still feel this going on up here. And then it comes with a whole nother story of, oh my gosh, I am a terrible person then because I just had to act like I was a good person. So if I have to act like I'm a good person, yeah, it comes from that lack and that insecurity and just the stories that we so innocently tell ourselves. And I know we've said 100 times, sometimes they're not even our stories. They're stories we picked up along the way. And we're like, oh, damn, that sounds good. I think that sounds like me. So I'm going to go ahead and call it me. And that's me now. So now I'm going to make sure everybody knows that's who I am. But yeah, when we just get quiet and we sit back in our essence and who we are, uh,
Then the
it,
things we want come naturally, effortlessly.
yeah, they really do. And it sounds so bizarre. Okay. It sounds so crazy to people. But yeah, it really does because when we're worked up and we're looking for the solution and we're trying so hard to make this happen, make that happen, dude, we're not making anything happen. The only thing we're making happen is this ridiculous story that is gaining momentum in our head that by the time we're done with that story, we're already into another one without even knowing it. And like Jen said, pile on, pile on, pile on, pile on. And whew, when we stop to take a breath, it's like, damn, where did this story even start?
I love
Or
it
maybe,
because I feel like when you want to be something, when you want to be confident, or when you want to be a good person or anything like that, that want is actually telling you, it's like highlighting, okay, I must have a belief that I'm not that thing. Because if you want something, then that means that is you anyway, because if it wasn't, you wouldn't want it. So our wants are actually amazing because they can tell us, okay, if I want to be confident, that means I'm believing some kind of thought that telling me that I'm not it. And when I stop believing that, no, I no longer want that because I'll just be that. Because we are that anyway. Like everything we want is a reflection of us anyway. So it's like, I already am that. I'm just believing that I'm not. Otherwise, I wouldn't want it.
Right. Right.
It's just highlighting it for you. Our wants are just highlighting that I've got to get rid of something here, or I've got to stop believing something here.
yeah,
And then when we no longer want it, we'll be like, okay, I am that person. It's kind of like a dog chasing its tail. It's never going to catch the tail because it, you know.
I had something, it's gone right now. So,
So I had another kind of insight or just kind of thinking because I love thinking. But I find I'm actually starting to enjoy thinking for thinking, like as a
yeah,
tool. I'm starting to enjoy it as a tool rather than because I believe it's me.
Right.
That just comes to me. So Yeah, that's really weird. That's okay. I'm getting an insight about that in the moment. Like, okay, I'm enjoying using this tool of mere thinking because it's fun, rather than being absorbed by it and thinking that it's me. Yeah. Anyway, that was just like a mini insight that just hit me right there, and I can't even remember what I was going to say now. Um,
Hey, I want to say I love it what you just said there because it's like absolutely using it as a tool. You're thinking as a tool and not a weapon
mm,
because that's what we do.
yep. Oh, that was it. The coin. I was going to do a post about this week sometime, but it was the coin of life. That's what I was going to call it, and it's where do I start? Like, you can't have a one-sided coin. Doesn't exist. And it's like we want so much for the joy, the happiness, the that all that kind of really what we consider positive emotions. And we don't want the other coin, the other side of the coin. But when we accept both sides, we get a whole coin. When we accept both sides of our humanness, we get a whole brilliant human life. And it's the resistance to the other side that is gives us our struggling, not the grief or the sadness. That's not actually what causes our struggle. It's the resistance to it. And when you can accept both sides of the coin, you have a really beautiful life with like a canvas with all the colors instead of just half the colors. And yeah, I kind of was contemplating that the other day, and I was like, oh wow, like all of our emotions are beautiful when we can accept all of them and not resist all of them. And when we can do that, we have this amazing, beautiful coin called life. And it's that
Yeah.
very resistance to that one side that we keep trying to turn it over. I don't like that side. I don't like that side.
Yeah.
Well, and I want to point out that sometimes we resist the good side.
Yeah.
I know personally, I was afraid to be happy because if I got happy, I was going to lose it all and that would hurt. And so I could only be as happy as I could handle losing everything.
Mm.
And this is actual things that I thought about. Like after Riker's dad died, like I was only able to handle so much. So I would only allow myself so much happiness after that for the longest time because if you die, then I won't be able to handle losing you because you mean too much. So you got to stay just over there. So it'll be fine. And that sounds horrible, but that is how I thought. That is how I lived for a long time. And even trying to build a life, I still kept everybody at arm's length away. I was afraid to be happy because then I might like it. And then if I lost it, I wouldn't be able to deal with it. So might as well not even get it. I see that as thinking now. Go ahead. Sorry.
No, you're fine. When we're talking about loss of someone we love too, and there's the other aspect of the whole like if I begin to be happy, if I begin to smile, if I begin to live again, there's almost this guilt and shame inside of you during the grieving process of how dare you because they
Yeah.
don't get to do that anymore. So why should I get to do that? That's, just my personal experience from losing Braden. And it took a while to settle back into allowing myself to smile and to go back to traditions of, like having game nights and that kind of stuff without feeling guilty about it, without the getting into the thought of, well, he's not here to do this with me and experience this with us. So why should we? And uh, about your coin, I love that too, Melissa, because here's the beauty of that whole thing. And this is, I think, for me personally, this is where I think a lot of people don't understand, why do we need both sides, right? Why can't we just have this side? It's because without this side over here that's not so nice and can be scary and can be sad and can be anxious, well, then how much more do you appreciate the joy and the contentment and the peace when you have both sides of the coin? If we had just that all the time, do you know, I don't know that we would appreciate it as much as we do when you can just accept all of your emotions are built into you and they're all meant to be experienced. And they're, yeah, not all of them are fun and not all of them are joyous and happy, but they're all us. And I think, yeah, experiencing both sides of the coins is essential, absolutely, to life and to the wholeness and of it all, to your essence.
Yeah. Well, you need the opposite to know what that is in the first place,
Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
you know? And oh, what was I just about to say? Go on, Jen, because I've forgotten what I was going to say.
I was going to say when we can find the beauty in the storm, because there really is. And in those storms, we find resilience and we find out what we're capable of. You know, the bad things that happen, the things we have to overcome. I would have never thought I would have been able to do so many things, except for I didn't have any other choice. And I got to see how strong I was and how many shitty situations I was able to get out of and to still grow from. And there's beauty in that.
Mm.
Yeah.
I can't remember if it was Crystal or Jen. I think it might have been Crystal. But that's what I was going to say. It's like you can't accept the level of happiness that you want unless you can accept the level of the opposite.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
And that works both ways.
It really does.
So that's really powerful. So it's like, if I can fully open up and accept, like, say for sadness, if I can fully open up and let it in and experience it fully, then imagine the happiness that I can fully accept as well. Like, they go both in hand. Again, the coin. One, you can't have one without the other. And they're both beautiful. But it's just the suffering that we suffer with because of the resistance to it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I've looked back on my life and seen myself sadness, and I'm actually thinking, that's beautiful.
Yes. But when we're in it, we give it meaning. We believe the reasons that the mood is giving us. And then we create stories off of that. And then we build identities out of that. And then we truly believe that it's who we are, and that these labels and diagnoses and beliefs just paint a picture of who we are and why we are that way. But when we can disidentify with that and see that we're the space it all happens, see that we're the one who made it through all of those bad situations, see that we're the ones who did the very best we could with where we were at any given point in our lives, and let go of the stories of who we're supposed to be or what it says about us, what the world says about us. I don't know where I was going. It's that, it's that all that thinking that we have about ourselves is insecurity. Like, really, it's all by, oh, what are they going to think? Are people going to like me? It's, you're both looking at me. I'm sorry.
You're talking.
I know, I
You're
know.
listening.
And I'm letting the thoughts come in of, "Oh, now you don't know what you're saying." And I don't know what I'm saying now because I got caught up in the story I was telling myself.
Well, that's just a live view of what happens when you get caught up in the thoughts.
Yeah, I seen you
It's
looking at me. I wasn't sure what to say. The insecurity came in and I completely lost what I was trying to get at.
But that's beautiful because it's showing our listeners, like, we're not exempt from this. This is we are human, and this is what happens, and it's a perfect example of when the thoughts come in, what can happen. So I think that's absolutely beautiful because it's like a live kind of showing of this is thought, this is what it does, this is how it can affect you. But we have this level of awareness and we're speaking about it, and I think it's beautiful. So I love
absolutely.
when this shit happens. Just a minute ago, I was thinking like, oh, I'm not explaining this properly. Oh, I'm not getting my words out properly. And then I lost my thought. I've lost the train of thought. And I was like, oh, that's because I was listening to the thinking instead of just letting it through.
Yeah. I think we say the deepest things and the most when we are just as surprised by the things that come out of our mouths as everybody else. When we're not thinking about what we're going to say and we just let it flow. Crystal, I cut you off and apologize.
It's fine. No, I was just gonna say because you've touched on it a couple of times. Um, resilience, right? If we could just see that we could replace resistance with resilience and understand that if you let go of this and see the beauty of how we can bounce back, so to speak, how we can grow from our experiences and all of that. I don't know, that came to me of just those R words need to be replaced. Like, get rid of the resistance and realize you're resilient. And the more that you just lean into yourself and you just let things be, you do see your resilience. Like you're saying, Jen, even when you reflect on your life and you're like, wow, I made it through that. I made it through that. And I came out on the other side and I'm better than I was before. I'm a different version of myself. I'm a different level of quiet. I'm, whatever. It shows that we are not only resilient, but also, like you said, that growth that goes in there too is beautiful. And without those experiences of that other side of the coin, it's hard to see that growth and that resilience and all of that stuff. And the other thing, and I know I've said this before, but we've talked about a couple of times what people think of us. Who cares? Who cares? And here's why, because you can't control it. It doesn't matter. So why give it so much energy and so much time? Like, it is such a freedom when you don't really care. When you don't really care what people think of you, when you realize for a truth that you're not going to control their thoughts. You can be as nice as you want to be to somebody. You can say all the right things in your head, right? And do all the right things and just be so pleasant and so whatever, hospitable, whatever to someone. And they can be like, wow, what a bitch. I just cannot stand her. There's nothing you can do about what somebody thinks about you ever because we're not in control of that. We're in control of our own thinking always. So I don't know. I felt really compelled to just be like, don't waste your energy. That's such a waste of energy. We get caught up though. We do. Even now, we'll still get, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters what level you're at. At some point, every now and then, we have insecurities sneak in and be like, oh shit, what do they like me? What do they think about me? Just like you were saying. But when we don't care in the most loving way about the things that are out of our control, Ah, ease, freedom, just a
Yeah.
relaxation by yourself.
Well, and on that one, just think for a minute. Because, like, I mean, I know I used to think that everyone walking down the street that looked at me was thinking about me and that they were out to get me or like it extreme, I know, but that was my reality. And then I had to stop and I think, like, how much time do I spend thinking about that stranger? Well,
Yes.
none, because guess what? Most of my time is spent doing thinking about me and making up what I think other people think about me. Thinking it was true, acting as if, trying to perform, and trying to be who I thought I was supposed to be. It's exhausting.
Yeah. So exhausting. Like I do it even now, sometimes I do it, like when I'm in the car and I'm driving and I do something and I'm like, oh, that person's thinking I'm a knob, or that person's thinking this, or I wonder what that person's seeing me do. Or I'll start to act differently if I did something, like if I revved my engine by a mistake or something, I'm like, oh, they're gonna think I'm a knob. And then and, it's like, oh my gosh, shut the fuck up. Like just drive. And
Mm,
I'm constantly, it's almost like I'm thinking that there's people outside just watching me. It's like the Melissa show or something.
Yeah.
And it's like, I've just gotta let go of that. Like, I do still do it now. Like, I'm constantly, when I'm doing something, like, I am acting as if someone is watching me. And that's fucking exhausting because it's like you're on CCTV all the time and you're like watching your behavior or watching what you're doing. And I'm doing that to myself. All that pressure. And yeah, I'm really kind of letting go of that and just being who the fuck I am. Am I a nice person? Don't know. Who gives a shit? I'm just me. Am I a good person? I don't know.
who cares?
Who cares? Yeah.
Because you know what? It's what we are in the moment. And from moment to moment, that can change.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's not that I'm not a nice person. It's not that I don't care about people. It's not any of those things. But you know what? Give me a moment that I am in my head or in a story or any of those things, and I might not be so nice.
Yep. And that's okay.
It is okay. And that absolutely, Jen, beautiful. It is okay because I know that I'm a person and I'm
Yeah.
going to get caught up in stories and I'm going to get caught up in my thinking. And every now and then I might say something that people are like, wow, whatever they think, because I'm not going to make that part up for them.
Yeah.
But I'm okay with it because it happens. And the more we accept that nobody's perfect and we're not going to be perfect, and we're going to have moments where we don't feel like being, when we feel like we want to just throw a fit or have a pity party for ourselves or whatever, because I do it whenever I want to. I'm not saying I do it all the time, but whenever I feel like I really want to, I will. I don't care.
Mm.
And I'll take that moment for myself. I'm not saying go be mean to everybody. I'm just saying,
I think it's a case of like when you're trying to be this kind person, you want to be kind, so you're acting out being kind. You're being kind to people that you may not even want to be kind to, but you think I'm being a kind person. I need to be that. The thing is, as soon as you start pretending, people know that.
Yeah.
mhm,
People know you're not, and it's like that kind of thing where you're giving someone a compliment rather than flattery. But you're actually flattering someone rather than giving them a compliment. There's a difference. There's a difference in the energy of it,
Mm-hmm.
And when you can just be truthful and, if that person's annoyed you and you don't want to be kind, just be yourself, then people respect you for it anyway because they know you're being real. They know you're not being fake and like, oh, you know. So yeah, uh, go on, Jen.
When we just show up as we are without all the thinking, it's see it keep this one thought keeps forming, and I think I have how I'm going to say it, and then it starts to come out, and
Yep.
but it keeps coming up. It keeps coming up. I can't.
Just
Yeah.
let it out.
Just let it out, as messy as what. And the thing is, if you understand in your head and you're grounded, then the essence of it will come out and we'll understand. And maybe
Yeah.
there's someone that's listening to this that needs to hear your messy version of it.
Get out of your own way.
Get out of my own way. All right. So it's what were we just talking about? Because whenever you said something and it made me think of it.
Maybe the difference between flattery and a compliment. Like how when you're trying to be kind and you don't want to be, then people can feel that.
And we don't have to be kind all the time. Like sometimes we don't have to be rude. But the thing is, when we show up as we are, where we're at, and notice our speed of thinking. Make sure we're not going off in stories about ourselves. Then even if there's a bad experience, we can take it on, we can have it, and not have it ruin our day. You know, we can deal with things as we slow down and just show up as we are. Stop pretending, stop performing. And you know what? If I show up and I'm in a shitty mood, I'm in a shitty mood. I'm not going to take it out on everybody, but I don't have to be happy-go-lucky and full of insights and be able to save the world, because I'm just as much of a fuck up as anyone else. And that's okay, because I'm human. And when we show up in that, in owning our low mood and owning our fucking whatever without feeding it and believing every reason that mood gives us, we can move through it gracefully without upsets, without offending people, you know, without being a total bitch and just flipping out on people who don't deserve it. We can still be in that low mood. Show up as that. Don't try to pretend not. Don't try to change it. Just, here I am, and this is how I showed up, but I'm here. And in that, it'll move quicker. Be present in the moment. Don't try to make it change. Don't try to push it away. Don't try to be anything different. But watch it and be in the moment. And that's going to change a lot faster, and it will be replaced with something better. And we will find solutions if we just stop trying so hard. That's what I was trying to say. Thank you for being patient.
And you know what? I wanted to pick up on something you said about, you know what, sometimes we want to be a bitch or we have bad behavior. But do you know why we're a bitch or we have bad behavior? Because we're resisting. Yeah, and because we're resisting the fucking bad mood. We're trying to be not in the bad mood, and that's why we're having that behavior, because we're resisting it.
Yep.
You know, when we accept it, then like when I've got a bad mood and I just tell Dave, oh, I'm just in a bad mood. Whereas if I'm trying to be happy and blah, blah, then I'm going to get frustrated and resentful because I'm not allowed to have that bad mood. And then that's when the behavior comes. That's when the bitchiness or the aggression comes, because I'm not allowing myself to have the bad mood.
Yeah, absolutely. That's exactly it too, because If I'm in a bad mood, whether that's sad, angry, frustrated, whatever low feeling it is, it doesn't mean I'm going to go around and go off on people. It means that I am fully aware. That's a beautiful thing about this understanding. I'm fully aware of the mood that I'm in. So, you know what? Maybe I do give a little warning, my husband or my kids, and just say, or, my friends, whatever, and say, bit of a low mood, kind of angry, kind of frustrated, whatever. But I don't take that out on anybody. And that's the beautifulness of the awareness of where we're at, because it's never taken out on anybody. It's just, and it's not a restraint thing. It's not a like, ooh, you know,
Yep.
why wouldn't you? It's just the awareness of where you're at. It's effortless, like we said. And you respect, so to speak, that you're human and that you're in that low mood. And you just let it be. You don't fight it, like Jen was saying. We don't resist it. We don't push up against it. We don't try to figure it out. We just recognize it, acknowledge it, know it. It's going to pass. Don't take it out on people, because you definitely don't have to do that. And I think that's what's beautiful now, is because when I'm in a low mood now, I do. I'll tell people, but I don't bite their heads off, and I don't, freak out over stupid stuff, because there's no story going on here. It's just that awareness that, okay, right now I am in some low mood thinking, and I'm going to let it be. And I'm not going to do not engage. That just came in my head, Jen. Well, there are certain places I'm just not going to engage in that moment, because I need to let my mood pass on its own. Exactly what we're saying. So yeah, it's beautiful when we can do that. It's amazing, and it's effortless, and it's freedom. And yeah, you find yourself way less not being a bitch, because before, when I was in a bad mood, yeah, it
Yeah.
didn't even have to be a real bad mood. It could just be this much of a bad mood. Ooh, everybody was going to know it. Now
Yep.
I don't.
Well, and before I knew where my experience came from, it was everybody else's fault I was in a bad mood. Once I understood where my experience was coming from and took responsibility for it, then it wasn't everyone's fault. Then instead of, why did you do this to me? It was, we're not talking about this because I have a whole lot of thinking about you and I don't like you right now.
Yep.
But it is so beautiful, isn't it? Like when you get to the point where you have awareness, like I find that my friends now know a lot about me. So if I'm like feeling down and I'm not really talkative, I just upfront say, I'm just not very talkative right now. And they don't get offended because I'm
Right.
so truthful all the time, and I'm just truthful, and I just say it as it is. They respect that. And I feel safe being me in front of my friends and my family now.
You just totally nailed it right there, Melissa. Absolutely nailed it right there. That is exactly it. It's when you have that freedom of being able to say, yeah, hey, I'm in a shitty mood.
Yeah.
And you're right. Your friends, your family, your spouse, whoever, accept it more, because you're being honest. You're not trying to hide it. You're just putting it out there. I mean, I don't know how many times I've talked to Jen, and now I can start off and just say, I'm in a low mood. So there's that. That away. Jen's aware that I'm in a low mood. So, and what's beautiful is she doesn't pick at me and go, well, why?
No.
Yeah.
What's going on? Because we don't do that to each other, because we have that awareness of, we don't need to go in there and pick around and figure out why. Just leave it alone, and it'll go away. And if there's something I want to rant about for a minute, well, then I will. And if I don't, then I just keep it to myself, and it goes. It's not about repressing a feeling. It's about just letting that feeling float by, no matter what.
Well, because
And it's beautiful.
sorry,
No, I'm done. Go.
the feelings themselves aren't aren't that bad. It's the stories we tell ourselves and the meaning we give to the feelings that destroy us. 90% of my suffering, of my constant just wishing it would all go away, was because of my thinking about situations and my believing my moods and every reason it gave me and building stories off of all of this, believing it to be true or fighting it because I didn't want to be that kind of person. I wanted to be this kind of person. Oh, I don't like that, but I like this. And I didn't know it was all stories. I didn't know it was all thought because that shit looked thick and real and heavy and confining. And now it comes on something I'm like, oh, aren't you cute? Yeah. And I just want to say as well, you don't get offended when someone says to you that they're in a bad mood anymore.
Right.
Like when people say I'm in a bad mood, I'm like, okay. Like before this understanding, I used to get really like, oh, it's because of me. Did I do something? Yeah.
Yeah. Personal. Gotta be
Yep.
personal.
And I had another, this off topic again, but it's someone was talking about not caring. Like Chrystal, you say this a lot about like I just don't care, and I experienced that this weekend. Not in the sense of like, oh, I don't care, you know, but
Right.
in this lightheartedness. I don't care. I got a speeding ticket. No, and normally I would be like freaking out. Like, oh, for fuck's sake! Oh no, I'd be really angry. I'm like, I don't care. It is what it is. You know,
Exactly.
and oh my God, it felt so light, so beautiful, so, oh my God, that I don't care. And
I
again,
love
it's
it.
like, it's trying to explain to people like that feeling of don't care is not the same as I don't care. I just don't, you know, it's completely different energy. It's light, it's
Yeah.
fluffy, it's like, I
It's
don't
beautiful.
care.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I wanted to share that because I thought that was
Oh
like
my God.
really,
Welcome to the I don't care party.
yep. It was awesome. I fucking love it.
I have goosebumps now because it really is awesome when you just don't care. And it is that lighthearted, I just don't care. You know, things will work out. It's having that trust and that faith and it not taking life so seriously. And
Mm.
it's beautiful that I love it. I'm so glad. I'm so because for so long I say that and then I'm like, shit. There goes the story, right? You sound
Yeah.
so like you have no compassion for anybody. That's not it. It's a different I don't care. It's a
Yeah.
carefree. It's
Mhm.
so like, oh well. I love it, Melissa. Ah, yay.
That's awesome.
Mm.
I love my I don't care.
Yeah, it's just it is, it's so freeing. It's like,
Mhm.
and it reminds me of the story of, was it a farmer that had their horse and the horse ran off, and then he was like and then neighbors come round and said, "Oh, that's a shame." He's like, "Is it?" And then the horse comes back and it brings a mare with it, and then the neighbor said, "Oh, you're so lucky, you've got 2 horses now." Yeah. And then the guy's son rides the horse and falls off and breaks his leg, and then the neighbors say, "Oh, what a shame." It's like, "Is it?" And then, you know, the army person comes round and, he says, you know, he's telling men that they have to go in the war, but because he's got a broken leg, he can't go. And they would say, "Oh, he's lucky." Is it? It's just life flowing, and when you don't care, it's beautiful and light. Oh, that's the word I can say. It's light.
It is.
Yes.
Very light. I love that. I love that little story.
Have you
Yes.
not heard that before? Like, I love that story.
No, I've never heard it, but
I mean, I
it's
can't. Yeah.
beautiful. It pointed exactly to that whole just don't care. Like, is it?
Yeah.
Because then, yeah, oh my gosh, I loved it.
And while we're at it, why don't you guys talk about your 8-week thingy-majiggy that you've got going? That if what people want to join in.
We don't
Jen,
the date for the next class we're gonna run right now. We're trying to get to we've started classes. So we gotta figure out when we're gonna run it again for people to join.
we started our Awaken to Wellbeing and we did week 1 this past week and heading into week 2, we have an amazing bunch. I'm really excited about the group. They're just it always seems to work out that way though. Just the most beautiful group together. And so, yeah, like Jen was saying, we're already into this session, but we are looking for another date and time for another session. Awaken to Wellbeing, 8-week live course with me and Jen. How fun is that?
And it's just 8 weeks of us looking into how we are whole, how we are whole, the misunderstanding that we get caught in, the outside in versus the inside out, and learning to live from clarity.
Melissa, do you have anything you want to share?
No, just for use this platform as a place to spread what we're doing with other people. If people want to get interested in other things that we're doing, they want to get deeper than just the podcasts, and yeah,
Yes.
get
Yes.
involved.
Hopefully next week. Well, maybe by the time this is out, my book will be out soon. What are you
Oh my
chasing?
God. I love reading it. It's
Thank you.
amazing.
I'm really excited about it.
Yeah, super excited.
You're making me say it, huh?
Yep,
I wrote a book. I wrote a book. It's all right.
it's beautiful.
I it's a short book, and it's a lot of my journey. Like I went through my journal and the way I journal, I've always journaled about my internal um battles and the philosophical way of how I see my life or whatever. I wrote a small book about my journey with the 3 Ps and yeah, the psychological journey to my soul.
It's
Is that out?
Not out yet. I'm still a little bit behind Chrystal.
It might take me like 4 months. And it's not even very long, but I love it. So it's what it's supposed to be.
Amazing. That reminds me, did you see my post recently that I put a post up about one of my pages from my journals a few years ago?
Oh, I do. Yes, yes, yes.
Mhm.
Wow. Isn't it amazing, like, looking back at your journals and like, holy shit. Like,
Yes.
I'll read everyone what it said. So it was 10 things I love about myself. Now I'm gonna be swearing. So it said, this is from, I can't remember how many years because I never fucking date my stuff, but it must have been quite a few years ago. And I said, fuck all. You stupid fucking pathetic invalid. I hate you. You sensitive little cunt. You bore people with your childlike stupid voice and shitty knowledge. No one takes you seriously. You're laughable. I fucking cried when I saw that.
Yeah.
I was like,
When you
go on.
when you made that post, that was very, very powerful. Very, very powerful because oh man, do I know, can I identify with shredding yourself like that for no reason? I did it for a long time. You made that post, and yeah, absolutely. It touched my heart and soul because I've been there. I'm not there anymore, and I love it. But it is when you see something like that in black and white, it's also kind of cool, though,
It
to see
is.
where you,
Yes.
yeah, to see where you are now and to think about that person that wrote that the person that wrote that probably never thought she'd be
Mm-mm.
the Melissa she is now. She
Not in a
probably
million
thought,
years. Yeah.
yeah,
There's no way that Melissa would have thought that she'd be on a podcast with two amazing women now. Absolutely no way in fucking hell. And I look back at that note and I'm like, you poor sod. You know, I was just like, yeah, I thought that was amazing. Like, I'm excited looking at it
yeah,
because it just shows you how much, like, for me, it showed me how much I've grown as a person. Like, sometimes you don't realize just how much you've grown because it's
Right.
such a subtle level and it goes like that, that you, like, when you really appreciate the growth that you've had now when you look back at that and like, fuck, like, I do not have those kinds of thoughts anymore. Ever. I still
Oh,
have insecure thoughts. Yeah, go on, Jen.
no, I get what you're saying. I look back at my journals and see the mental back and forth and the contradictions and just the fight. And I'm so grateful to not be there. And I'm so grateful to have what I have down because I can see, my struggles. I can look and see how I created each one of these stories and how it was the story as I was telling myself that was creating that turbulence. And it's really fun.
Yeah, it's so fun. Like, I wish I'd had more. Like, I was really bad at journaling. I still am. But I have like all these bits of paper and half-filled books, and yeah, I've been starting to go through them. I'm like, wow, my thinking.
Yeah, I got
Yeah, it's amazing though, isn't it? Because it's like you're reading about someone else.
yeah, but
yeah. And the beautiful thing about it, and the beautiful thing about Jen's book, it's like she has this blueprint of her journey, like that I don't have because I didn't journal any of it, but she has this amazing like blueprint, and you see it in the book, and I love it that Jen's working on, and it's helpful. It's really helpful because people will be able to identify with exactly what Jen was going on in Jen's head and where it is now and how she saw through that. And I don't want to talk too much about your book because I don't want to give stuff away, but it's like I told her, I think it's amazing. She's like a personal blueprint of Jen's journey,
Yeah.
and it's amazing. And I'm excited.
We're done.
We're
Woohoo.
done.
all right. So don't forget
Yay.
to like, comment, share, subscribe. Give us your feedback. Ask us questions. We're here if you need us. Yeah, let us know what you would like to hear us talk about.
Yeah.
And we will see you next time.